and benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to another Napoli Rant. I am Raff, joined by my co-host, Rafa Rispo.
What's up, Raff Bizzarro? How you doing tonight?
I am doing well, sir, and hello to you and everybody in the chat. Let's get this rant on the road. It's so nice. I played it twice. Let's get this rant on the road, as well as to all the audio listeners. This weekend, Napoli defeated by Monza 2-0. We're going to rant a little bit about that, but this episode, I think we're going to talk some of the good things, but also some of the bad things, maybe some of the things we don't like that much that's been going on this season, or at least this half of the season. Of course, one can't complain too much, Rafa. I mean, we are the Scudetto winners. We clinched with 5 games left. It's not like we have this super hyper motivated Napoli hitting the field now game after game after game, trying to bag something. I think the pressure's off, but so is some of the intensity. Either way, you rounded up some great stats because you are Stats Respo, and we're going to share that with everybody today. Again, just being a little bit pessimistic, switching it up, giving a bit of a rant. It was so hard to rant this season, Rafa, right? Because we were just doing so well. It was just tough to say anything negative. So today we decided to do something like that. Rafa's going to Italy soon. So, before he leaves, we're going to get this in. And I'd like to ask everybody in the chat, maybe if there's something that you have an issue with, let us know in the chat. I'll star it. Maybe we can rant about it. So the show tonight is for everybody to kind of sit back and critique a little bit, I think, right? We're going to nitpick just a little bit, Rafa, today, but
we're gonna nitpick today. I think
happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Yes,
happy belated Mother's Day. All the mamas.
Yeah. Absolutely. All the moms out there who do their thing, all the stepmoms too who do their thing.
Yes.
Gotta include those people, all the grandmothers. Definitely. And I hope everybody had a nice weekend. I'm fortunate enough to have missed the second half of yesterday. I listened to it on the radio because we were driving. I did see the first half in bits and pieces. It was one of those things, Ralph, where like for the first time in a very, very long time, there wasn't the enthusiasm of a Napoli game, beforehand. Hours before, get the kids up, let's get everybody up and watch the game and be ready for this big, occasion. For me, it was really just kind of like, all right, guys, Napoli's playing, let's, do you want to put it on? And, it was one of those things where we were getting ready to go celebrate Mother's Day. We were going to do a breakfast with Allie's parents. So like 9:00 rolls around. And it's like it's background noise, it's background viewing, it's easy. Cool. Bereszynski started nice. Oh wow. Zerbin's getting a start. That's cool. Oh wow, the whole midfield starting. That's odd. It's one of those things where it was just meh. Oh, Di Lorenzo didn't get a start. That was one of the yes, Scudetto patch. Guys, really quick before I move on. This shirt, I got a buddy who's selling them. Hit me up if you want some. I just ordered like 35 of them for a bunch of my, people. You guys are out there, We'll be shipping them out to them shortly. Also picked up this beauty. This came in today. Nice. So very excited about that.
How you got your hands on that? I don't know, Rafa. I mean,
I caught it on the third restock.
Jeez.
And just so happened to check because my cousin was like, no, they're not.
My brother
available.
wants one.
And I was like, dude, I wish you would have told me, man. Well, what size?
Probably your size. Y'all about the same build.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Might be able to take care of that for you.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, and I'm enjoying my nice cafe and my Raff N Raff mug. I'll be finishing this up, and then I have a little surprise for when it's done. There's that. But yes, dude, $50, man. This is it. $50 with shipping. Beautiful. I know a guy, Edgar. I know a guy. I get you a shirt too, Edgar. Anyway,
everybody gets a shirt, but go on.
So everybody gets a shirt. So the game was background viewing, man. It was background listening. And
Yeah.
Monta scored, and it was like, oh man, that sucks. Yeah. But it just wasn't something that I cared about, man. Like, who cares?
No,
Right?
I mean, listen, if we didn't care, should we hold the players accountable for maybe not
No
caring
way.
that much? I mean,
Think about it.
these guys are
What's
exhausted.
training like, right? What's training like? Well, listen, we didn't. I would venture to think that our only training we did before Fiorentina last week was before the game on Sunday on the pitch, right?
Right,
Pre-match training.
right.
These guys were partying for 3 days. They won the
Probably, yeah,
Scudetto,
yeah.
right?
They were still hungover, I think, on
Then
the pitch.
listen. Then I could guarantee training is not as intense. I mean, Spalletti said we're gonna come out there and we're gonna be professional still. In my opinion, that means we're not really doing much training wise. Our head's not really in it, but we're going to stay professional. Let's stay professional, right? Give him a tough match. But I mean, it does suck that we lost. I'm especially upset that Petagna scored on us because he doesn't score a lot this year, and like we
That
really
would happen.
lucked out on that deal. We
It
really
would
did.
happen. Petagna would score against us.
And it was a good goal too. It
Yeah.
wasn't one of those like tap-ins. He waited for a shot, took his left shot, left foot
Well, wasn't
shot.
it from a rebound or something like that, or like it kind of bounced
Not
towards him and then he
no.
kicked it off
I
the
don't
top?
think he scored on a rebound. But the first goal was more like rebound type.
Right.
Anyways, Monza had not a lot to play for. They're trying to finish in the top 10, I guess, which is commendable, but they're safe. So due to their safety, Napoli Monza keeps Petagna and is now required to sell him to us for 15 mil. So boom, there's a deal right there and a half.
So this was a setup, wasn't it? Right? ADL was like, "Dai ragazzi, perdiamo contro la Monza. Riceveremo 50 milioni, dai."
Perdiamo
comprare un
per
player.
mio grande amico, signor Berlusconi.
Berlusconi, dai, dammi 15 milioni. Voglio un top player da Japan or USA.
Voglio un top player. Japan and USA.
Yeah, man. Speaking of which, I mean, I don't even want to get into that yet, but Johnny Iucci had a question. I started. We're going to talk about that. No, it's about Kim, but I want to wait. I want to wait for that because we did speak a little bit about it on the last Insta Rant last week. Now it's just kind of a waiting game, and I don't know. I got into like a back and forth, Rafa, with some dude on Twitter saying, "Nah, Kim's going, he's 80% done." I was like, "Nah, I don't believe everything you read." But I don't know if I'm just being biased, optimistic, that he's not gonna leave. He can't leave. He just won the Scudetto with us. He can't leave. But I don't know. The way these reports are being written lately, it's pushy, man. And
it all has to do with that release clause, I mean, I think the only way we're pretty safe in keeping Kim is two ways. One is if he declines any kind of offer from the teams, because club. Obviously, there's got to be two agreements, right? Club and player.
Well, no.
The agreement goes out the window when there's a release clause.
Exactly. As long as the teams hit the number, and I guess the specs are good for the player.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You have
ADL can't hold them.
Yes, right. Exactly. In normal circumstances, there's got to be two agreements: club, player. But here, club don't have to agree on anything. I mean, United is already looking, and this is a fact now. United has offered more than the release clause, to be honest with you. So I mean, like they want to trigger it and then some. Right. And I wonder if that's a tactic to get ADL to say, "Hey, Kim, maybe it's better in England for you," But I doubt that too, because ADL seems really interested in winning, and to do that, he knows he's going to have to keep his top players, Kim is undoubtedly one of them. Undoubtedly.
Well, Rafa,
I
you
mean,
said he was our most important signing.
I
this
did,
season.
and I stand by that. I
Yeah.
stand by that. I know
And it
Kvaratskhelia.
makes sense why you said it. You said Cavada was the bet. Before the Cavada fans go crazy in here,
right.
Rafa Rispo said Cavada was the best signing for Napoli.
Sure.
But Kim was the most important because, let's face
Because
it.
the shoes were bigger to fill.
Yes, there were huge shoes to fill. Not to mention, it's not every day that you can plug and play a world-class center back onto your team that just came from Turkey. You know, that's it was a very important signing because they, you know, Insigne, you know, coming off that season, like people were not as sad to see him go, but Koulibaly leaving was a big deal for Neapolitans.
Right.
So I can see why you said that, Ralph, and I agree with you too.
And to counter what you said about Insigne, people were sad. It was a sad ordeal. It was an emotional ordeal, especially on the day of. And you know, Insigne being the hometown boy, it's shoes to fill, but at the same time, like I said, the impact wasn't. I mean, the impact was grand. Don't get me wrong. Maybe the impact is not the right word I'm trying to look for. What I'm trying to look for is the defense would not have been what it was without Kim Min-jae there. If you put anyone else there, the defense wouldn't have been what it was. I don't know if we win a Scudetto, man. Like, honestly.
Right.
But, you know, with the addition of Kim, I mean, people were legitimately saying Kalidou who, which is terrible, but they were.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, again, Kim is important for us to win. And I honestly don't know if he wants to go yet. I really don't. I can see Napoli and Kim working a deal out to banish that release clause. So
I'll read something from Crow here. Crow 7.62. Napoli ain't Fenerbahce. Serie A isn't the Turkish league either. Yes, You're right. But money talks and bullshit walks. Now, that doesn't mean to say, listen, it was my I see what you did there, bro. I like that. That's exclusive right there.
For all the audio listeners,
I'd be able to
go to
design
YouTube.
that.
Go to YouTube.
See what Rafa just did on
what
the
I just did.
12th minute of the 13th minute of this video. But yeah, I love that. But listen, here's the deal. My take last week on the Instagram was that, you know, the clause was there. So if Kim wasn't happy or the team didn't, you know, achieve anything, he could say, okay, I'm out of here. I had enough, and he can go. But, you know, Don BX saying, I think Kim is gone. We'll see. Well, I don't know, man. Like,
here's the thing, right?
It's tough.
He's happy.
You here. Sorry.
Sempre. He's happy here. I think he wants to win more here, and I think they can figure the deal out. I think they can.
Yeah, but what happens if the salary gets doubled, Rafa? We're not holding him, man.
But Ralph, like, is the 30% less salary wage bill? Is that only exclusive for this season, or does it carry in? Because if it carries on, then we have a problem.
I just don't think that ADL
is going to give him the wages that Manchester.
No way. Nothing over 4 million, 5 million. No way.
What's his wage now?
Isn't it around 2 something 3? It's 2 something 3 and then
GPT. What is it? Chat
GPT.
Is that what it is? Chat GPT? Should ask that Chat GPT.
But anyway, like I just again, if I guess it sucks to say, but it is true that these Premier League teams can come in and just offer a bag of money to anybody and get them, and that's the problem, man. And
he's at 2.35 a year,
right? So even if ADL will try to raise them up to 4, you know,
I don't see a problem with that.
An English team, yeah, but you don't, we don't, but he does. You got to understand, this is like, oh, I can go to an EPL team, make double, triple to what I make here. I'll be fine, you know. But
well, then we better be ready with a backup. I mean, I don't doubt them. Like, you know, this is what
Juan Jesus ain't it. Juan Jesus ain't it.
Nah,
We got to
No,
replace him
he's
now.
not. No, he's not it. No, he's
Yeah.
good for his role. That's it.
I'll be pissed if Kim left. You know what I mean? I'll be really
I'll be upset.
Like,
I'll be
I'll
upset.
be upset if most people leave, with the exception of, like, I can understand Osimhen. He's been on the team 3 years. He did his thing. He's getting a huge, he could possibly draw a huge transfer fee. Fine. It's always good for the team. Not that 40-50 million for Kim ain't bad, but it'll suck if you it'll feel so stepping stone-ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, without having to really put in and pay any type of due other than this. But at the same time, first year, covers Koulibaly, helps win the Scudetto. Again, what more can you ask for?
Can't ask
And
for
I
a
don't know
lot more, man.
But these players going to England, sometimes the grass ain't always greener, man. The grass ain't always greener. A lot of players who left Napoli, their careers didn't all go the best. So there's a lot to say, Rafa. But I want to get into, obviously, if there's anybody else there in the chat who have another thing that I saw something about Zerbin here. Maybe I'll put that up. But Claudio Cioffi says, would like to see Gaetano play. Same here. I agree. And Zerbin, man, bad game. I know he hasn't played much, but you have to show more to stand the team. You're right, Cioffi, but you have to get more than that. Was his first start all year. He gets very little playing time. Like, you can't expect much. And not to mention, it's not like they're fighting for anything. So it's so hard to determine the performance of our bench now. Now, this is just like this is just like kind of charity minutes, man. And this is the one thing that also did kind of upset me. I have a funny feeling that we'll see Gaetano next week. Are we playing home next against?
We're home against Inter.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if Spalletti gave Gaetano a few minutes at home, maybe to start a game at home, because he is Italian. So
you want me to be honest with you? I really want Spalletti to play full squad against Inter.
Yeah.
It's Inter. It's a team we didn't beat. I'm telling you, these guys are going to be up to play this game. They're home. Yeah. I understand. Again, Osimhen is trying for the Capocannoniere, right? Lautaro is playing, right? He's on the team. He could play, score, get. I think I want. If we've got to pick one more game to play the starting 11, this upcoming 3 games left, it's this one against Inter, in my opinion.
To try to
I would like for them to go all out in the game that I'll be at, on the 4th, where we lift the Scudetto after and have a party. I want to win that game. I think it's important to win that game as well. I think it's important to win all the games, but I think it's important for Napoli to win that game or get a result at least. But real important to beat Inter. It's a team we lost to. It's kicked off our loss. It kicked off our 2023, and we have not had the best 2023, as I'll get into in a minute. And I think that's the game where we go all out. Now, granted, that doesn't mean Gaetano can't play. That doesn't mean we have 2 more games to play Gaetano, right? Okay. And that's the beauty of winning the Scudetto with 5 games left.
We can do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I do want to see some of these guys play. And then I'm cool with the starting 11 playing and beating Inter and, bringing it to them. Okay, I see your comment about Cavada, but I feel like I want to save that convo for a future rant, because we probably will be ranting about that at some point. But Rafa, I want to get into your numbers, because, we're kind of halfway through the show now, and I want you to get everything out there, because you have some interesting facts to kind of share with everybody. Again, just being, and it's kind of funny because we're insanely optimistic on this show.
Sure, we are, and I hate to nitpick, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, right? But we did lose, so what's there to do? We've been praising this team for all year. We praise them. They won. We even, I don't remember if we did a show after the Salernitana game, but we did do a show after Salernitana.
Right.
But we were even very optimistic then, you know what I mean? And we just missed out an opportunity to clinch the Scudetto at home. Then we win the Scudetto. Then we do our show last week. I went on Joe's. We did a good Insta Rant live. So let's come in here today and nitpick a little bit. We can do that. Listen, as fans of the team, and
talk a little
there's
shit.
so many things we could talk about that are great about this season. I'm wearing the most important one on my chest. But the reality is, this season, Napoli, in every loss, right? In every regulation 90-minute loss, we did not score one goal in any of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 losses altogether.
Yeah.
2-0 against Liverpool in the Champions League. Still in 2022, so wasn't part of our 23. Only loss this season in the 22 part of the season. A 1-0 against Inter, a 1-0 against Lazio, 4-0 against Milan, 1-0 against Milan in the Champions League, and 2-0 against Monza. So 2, 4, 8, 11 goals for and none against in our losses this season.
Okay.
We were also held against Fiorentina and Verona this year in 0-0s. So 8 matches overall in regulation where we were held. And I don't mention the Coppa Italia loss because in regulation it was 2-2 and we lost on penalties. So that doesn't count for me. Yes, we were eliminated, but we didn't lose the match. So
got you.
Another
thing we did, Raff, in this past recent form. I guess this is somewhat relevant to what you're stating. It's like a thing now we're gonna do.
I think it's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be like a new thing, right?
I better get a jug here to refill myself so I can last all show.
Right. Like put a big shield on it.
Well, I could just put this in. You can just put some bubbly in.
Put some bubbles in there. That's it. But what was I gonna say? So our average, like I would say about a month or so ago, we had one of the best goals per game average at like 2.6 or something. And I'm pretty sure last I saw that's dropped down about half a point. So we're almost at 2.1. Our goals against was like 0.6 or something. That went up like a fraction of a point or so. So those numbers dipped too. When we saw Napoli that was able to score 2-3 goals a game and leave the opponents only scoring 1 or nothing, that hasn't happened recently. And I mean, and even before the Scudetto game, we saw that like we've had trouble scoring. It doesn't seem. I don't think we've gotten more than 1 goal at the
in a match
over the past since Milan, maybe before the 4-0 loss.
The last time we scored more than 1 goal in a match, I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Was April 7th against Lecce 2-1. And then before that was a 4-0 against Torino, 3-0 against Frankfurt, 2-0 against Atalanta. But on that same vein, right, I have a form table here. So I've got a form table from the beginning of March to today, right? And Napoli, if the season started and ended March 1st, if it started March 1st and ended today, right? Let's just say that that's how the season went.
Yeah.
11 matches, that's it, right?
That's it. 11-match season.
Napoli are in the Conference League.
Ooh.
Napoli finished 6th. So from March to now, Napoli are 6th in the table. Better than them are in 5th. Ooh, why don't we play a nice game? Take a guess, Ralph.
Okay.
Guess the top 5 teams over Napoli this season, just off the top of your head.
For the March till now
From
scenario?
March to today, 11 games in the league.
Let me see. Oh, I know Juve was on a good form. I know Lazio was on a good form.
Lazio's there.
Milan didn't have. I'm not sure if AC Milan are there.
AC Milan are not there.
They're not there. Okay, so I'm right there. So I got 2. I got 2 of the 4. We're doing 4.
Yes.
4. Or
no, we're doing 5. 2. So you got who'd you pick? Juve and Lazio.
I got Juve, Lazio.
Yeah.
I won't do the order quite yet.
No. It's You don't do it in order. Just who do you think?
Who also was on a big tear?
I'll give you a
was
hint.
This Salernitana? Was this Salernitana?
No, they have been on a tear, but they're not there. No,
That wasn't there.
Salernitana and Inter are tied at 12 and 13 with 14 points.
So Inter's there.
Inter is there. Yes.
Is Salernitana in the top 5?
No, Salernitana is not in the top 5. So you got Lazio, Juve, and Inter. 2 more teams.
Ooh, okay. I'm good.
I love this. I actually really love this. Hold on.
Is Atalanta?
No. Atalanta's 9th with 17.
Shit. So I don't know if Roma.
I will give you a so you've got the 3. I'll give you a hint. You should be able to get it.
Okay.
Actually, if I give you this hint, you're definitely gonna get it. Ready? They were our last 2 opponents.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Who were our last 2 opponents?
Fiorentina and Monza.
Monza are better than Napoli over 11 games, bro.
Wow.
It goes Napoli 18 points in 6. Actually tied with Torino with 18 points in 6th place. 5th place, Inter. 4th place, Juventus. 3rd place, Monza with 20. 2nd place, Lazio with 20. And 1st place, Fiorentina with 21. Right now, Fiorentina are the informed team in Serie A, and Monza are there. So, listen, a loss to Monza without trying, and these guys are playing for some form. Monza are unbeaten since, like, mid-March.
Right.
Like, throw some respect on Monza's name, bro. Like, I'm
actually
actually
on my name.
I'm actually pretty impressed by that. Pretty impressed.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that
was fun. Was that fun?
That was fun. That was fun.
You
it
gotta
was,
do that more.
No, I think it gives a little bit of a different perspective on things too, and kind of puts it all, kind of sums it all up as to what we're witnessing now for the end of the season. So yeah, no, it's. I mean, you could see it. You can definitely see Napoli, coming back out of the World Cup, or I'm sorry, rather coming back from the World Cup. We saw, they were a little slow. They had to get back into their rhythm, and then they did. You saw them kind of winning games again, but after that, like that 11-game stretch, you started seeing this dip again. Mm-hmm. And who was saying it? Mike Rinaldi in the chat was saying right here. Hold on. That how about the fact that Napoli only had 1 goal from outside the box
all season long? It's crazy because it's the penalty kicks and the goals from outside the box that suffered this year. However, we got better at set pieces.
Right.
And not blowing games. So, like, if you want to say we lost an edge in a certain position, but we gained in many others. Isn't that crazy? It's insane.
We had said this a lot. Joe Fischetti had said it once, sometime in November, December. We said it here on the Rant that the dependency now on Osimhen and Cavada. Is it happening? And I think maybe it did a little bit, and teams kind of started adjusting their play against us because all they did was just shut down Cavada, shut down Osimhen. All of a sudden, Napoli couldn't do anything anymore. And this is a team with isn't it that I stand this year? 17 goal scorers this season.
Yes.
What the fuck happened to that Napoli that anybody could score at any time? So now you just see shots just flying over the net, and you see this big dip in form, and it's hard to tell. It's so hard to complain because we won the Scudetto. So, what's the problem? Is it just people again? Is it just people letting off tank? Now, I'm gonna blame the fact that they were so far ahead. They had so much of a cushion that I think that the team was generally somewhat tired. Anyway, I heard, who was it? Marco Messina. He had an episode on IFTV, and he said, like, yes, Cavada hasn't scored. There was a funny tweet. He hasn't scored in a few games lately.
Right.
But at the same time, like this is what a 21-year-old kid that comes from with the Russian league or whatever, that now has to play in this top flight league at an intense level in his first season here. That's a lot to ask for a 21-year-old, and he was able to produce a whole lot already. Maybe he lost a little bit of steam. Maybe he lost a little gas in that tank, and that's understandable for a young player to play at this level,
Right.
for the first time. So Marco had a good point there, but we'll
Um,
see.
He did. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, listen, the guy came in year one and won the Scudetto. What more can you ask for him? What more can you ask for him? Yeah, he started out strong. Teams figured out the system. Osimhen was injured. It was a perfect storm of events that occurred to hold back Kvaratskhelia. And not for nothing, but like everybody's quick and easy. It's easy to say things like, "Oh, Osimhen will be back, and when he comes back, it's over. Watch, Kvara unlocked." Blah blah blah. Who's to say that during this stretch of time where Osimhen was injured and teams started figuring out how to play Kvara, that Kvara's head didn't get a little jumbled and messed up? I mean, listen, he's young and it was his first year in a big league, and the tears after the Scudetto win, I'm sure, were tears of joy, but also could have been tears of relief, because when listen, we cried tears of relief, right?
Sure.
As fans, as podcasters,
Sure.
as YouTubers, as content creators, we cried tears of relief. It's like, shit, thank God it's over,
Right.
But how do we know Kvaratskhelia wasn't, like, the mind games weren't setting in for him? Like, he had a lot of bad games, a lot of games where he even played good, just couldn't get a cross in, couldn't get couldn't get past defenders, couldn't score goals. Like a young kid, don't forget, it's a young kid who performed to the fullest for months and months and months, and boom, came crashing at a brick wall.
Listen, Rafa,
Maybe it messed with his head.
It's very possible, and I wonder. I want to ask you a follow-up question on that thought, because remember when Kim came, or while Kim was at the World Cup, I should say, or like right after, he had mentioned to the Korean newspapers how he was mentally tired, not because of play, because they kept asking him about transferring, about leaving Napoli. And he said, I'm tired of the questions. I'm focusing on the league right now. Mind you, Napoli still hadn't clinched anything yet, even though they still had a nice company.
Sure, it was World Cup,
so
right? Yeah.
I wonder about Kvara, about Osimhen, about all the other guys. How many contacts did they have? Did any of that pose a distraction to them that kind of like tampered their intensity a little bit? You can imagine all the hype, all the media, on top of the fact that you've been playing all these games. You have all this pressure, and now you're about to win a Scudetto. I mean, it's a big ask. Dude, Rafa, I told you, and I'm sure you are too, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Tired, Ralph. I'm so tired.
I'm exhausted. So I full disclosure, I took a nap before the show. You know what I mean? Like,
bro,
mind you, I also had like a 12-hour insanity shift for Mother's Day yesterday too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to the service industry on Mother's Day, man. Wow, I forgot about that, Biz.
Yeah,
shoot,
bro.
man.
You wouldn't believe.
Oh no, I do believe, because I know all about it.
You know, you've been there, and
I
there's a
know.
lot of us there.
Yeah.
So I was exhausted today, and I even said, Rafa, I am so Napoli'd out. I'm looking for, because we take that like June break typically. It's kind of like an unofficial small content creator break, but it happened last season. Like in around June, we're just like, whew. And we were tired last June. This June, I'm exhausted. So I'm exhausted, and I'm not playing every week. I don't have all this media attention. I just get up here, you and I, for an hour, and I can't take it. So I can't even imagine what some of these players got. Ciao, Pasquale. Have a safe flight. All right. So yeah, these guys need a well-deserved vacation too. 100%. 100%. But I wonder, how many people were trying to like knock on their door while they were trying to stay focused to win a Scudetto. Listen, man, it is what it is, but they're human, and mentally, physically, that mental fatigue is worse than the physical fatigue because it really drains you. It really brings you down, emotionally, physically. It's super tough on them. But I wonder how much of that was trying to decide their futures, because it wasn't like, okay, they have to go to the very end to fight. No, they were mentally, they knew they were going to win. And I think a little bit of their
You bring up
attention
a
was
great point
diverted.
there. Yeah.
They knew they were going to win. And I think at that point they think, all right, well, this is going to definitely raise my stock. Is England going to come calling with a bag of money? Because now I feel like all these fucking English vultures are flying around Napoli, seeing who they can pick off. ADL knows he has like
a pot of gold, man.
a pot of gold waiting for him. But at the same time, he's also saying how he wants to win again for the Scudetto. He wants to challenge in the Champions League. So this is probably going to be ADL's biggest challenge to, like, how do I keep the players for next season? How do I make them happy? And how do I avoid them leaving, And now you got Gintoli wanting to leave. You got, you got Kim possibly going. You got Osimhen possibly going. We might have to change the core of this team again, Rafa, over the summer, and how is that going to fare out? I mean, it worked for us this season. I wonder what it could be next season. But
these English are crazy, man. And really quick, today at work, we for some reason we were compelled to watch Leicester City Liverpool, right? Leicester City's on the brink of relegation after doing what they did, 7 years ago, and even recently winning the FA Cup. Blah blah blah. All these European seasons, and they're about to go down. Liverpool trying to fight to get into the Champions League. So we were like, Sampdoria Empoli, nah. I don't really want to watch that. I want to watch the other game. And what do you know? At full time, where they're talking to all of these people about, like, what's going on with Chelsea, what's going on with this, that. So they get to Chelsea and they talk about what they need to bring in. They're talking about Pochettino and his appointment that's coming soon, blah, blah, blah. They hired him. Frank Lampard's going to stay on, this and that. Oh, yeah. And one of the areas of need is a number 9. And I'm telling you, it was a transfer guy for England, right? The first name that came into my head that they were going to comment on was Victor Osimhen. And what happened? I know they're targeting possibly Victor Osimhen from Napoli if they'll sell him. And no other name came out of this guy's mouth. No other name. Like,
well, if you're speaking of number 9s, right? I mean, you mean like no other team either or anything?
No other name, no other team. No. What I mean is, like, they were talking about Chelsea. They were talking about Chelsea and transfer targets and their business model, and they're moving forward, what they're going to do next year with a new manager, this and that. And then the guy goes, and by the way, they need some players, and they're looking at a number 9. And one of the number 9s, one of the many number 9s they're looking at is Victor Osimhen, but he doesn't mention any of the other number 9s they're talking about.
Yeah.
He only mentions Osimhen.
This was TV.
TV, NBC.
Listen, I'm 100. Listen. I'm starting to catch on to the game, Rafa. I'm starting to catch on to the game. No disrespect to any pundits working for a major network. No disrespect, because we know a lot of them. But we have to consider the big budgets of these networks and how they have to make all they have up.
Oh, yeah.
They got to go with what hits. I'll give you an example. If I put Kvaratskhelia on a thumbnail for our show, it's a cheat code. I'm gonna get Georgians to come in and start clicking this episode. Same thing. It seems as if they pick the names and the teams that are trending, that are hitting, and then they write an article based off that to acquire the hits, man, to acquire the ratings. I mean, listen, they even admitted it on Paramount. It's, why do you see more of Juve, Milan, and Inter? Why? Because more of those fans tune in to those shows. More of those fans tune in. Africa's a huge market now. Of course they're going to say Victor Osimhen. Look what's coming out of Africa right now. They're doing great. So, and, our dude from Napoli Club Nigeria, I mean, like, the fact that he was in that part of the world was able to get followers almost quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they draw so much. So to me, I think a lot of this has to do with what hits, with what triggers, with what's trending. I'm not even sure if half of these guys really say what they mean. You know,
Right.
I think a lot of it has to do with attracting that, attracting that audience. So
Absolutely.
I take all these
Absolutely.
things with a grain of salt. I want to read out Claudio Trophy's question. Excuse me.
You're right.
Claudio Trophy's, yeah, no, just a little burp. Is it concerning to you when we make many roster changes that we underperform? At some points, we'll neither get studs. It does concern me, actually, Rafa.
Yeah, but
I'm concerned about it.
not. Yes and no. Right now, no, it doesn't concern me at all.
Well, no,
Like,
I mean, I think what he meant was probably like early in
oh,
the season
roster
when we did some of
changes like between seasons.
yeah. No, I think I'm assuming Claudio Trophy, if you're still in here to kind of confirm this. What
I
I'm
see.
assuming
I
is
see. Okay.
that if
Okay.
he
No,
does,
no, no.
if
At
that
some point, we'll
Spalletti
need to
does
use
a
our
turning
studs, right?
to a turning like a turnover, if we see 3 or 4 different players that from the bench, like the the not the starters, the team doesn't perform as well. Past losses.
Well, I think yeah. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with a lot of the past losses. I mean, we got knocked out of the Coppa Italia after changing all 11, and then we lost yesterday after the listen, we beat Fiorentina. We made 5 changes, beat Fiorentina. We make 5, 6 changes, and we don't beat Monza, right? We lose to Monza.
Right.
But look at the changes we made. Di Lorenzo sat, you know. Kvaratskhelia sat half the game. I don't know. I don't know.
I thought our plan B in the beginning of the season was pretty good, Rafa. I thought our plan B was good. I thought when we brought the bench out, they were able to seal the deal most of the time.
Right.
But
listen, we didn't see a lot of rotation during the season. Like, we didn't see that much of it. When you go back and think about like the past 2 games and the rotations that we've done the past 2 games, right? Versus the type of rotation that we did before when we were in competition, right? Like when we were fighting for something. Night and day, in my opinion, because if we're still fighting for Scudetto, there's no chance in hell that you sit Di Lorenzo. There's no chance in hell that you sit Kvaratskhelia. And there's no chance in hell you sit Meret. Like, in my opinion. Those are, and Kim and Jay. No way. Right. No way. So,
but remember that time right before Rachmani got hurt, we're like, yo, why is he playing him like 3 games in a row, 2 days apart, and he had Ostigard on the bench, and then Rachmani got injured. Yeah. So to me personally, I don't think that you need these big turnovers, these big rotations, game after game after game. But I think when you're playing every 2-3 days, like, you gotta change it up a little bit. And I don't even mean 3 players. I can just mean 2 players to start, and then later on in the game in the second half, you can, whoever's the most tired, maybe you switch that guy out for somebody else. I don't think Spalletti did a great job doing that. By the end of the season, we were figured out. None of the other players had their legs under them again, like Tony said. I'll put it back up here because I agree with them. And I feel like a broken record. I said this last season. I said it with Gattuso. It just seems as if, like, they have this way of playing these players, these 11 titolissimi, but you got to consider the fact that that these teams are playing so many more games now. They're playing so many more games. I mean, we have to have a shift. I think football, soccer in general, has to have a shift in mentality as to like how they do things, like before it was like the starting 11. They played once a week. Yeah. And they did what they did. You rotated guys as needed. Now, with the amount of games you're playing, you have international, you have European, you have domestic, and then there's a cup within the domestic and then the domestic within. Like, there has to be some type of equation. We say it all the time. You need 2 teams to win. Yeah. Okay. So if you need 2 teams to win, why aren't the 2 teams being played? Why is it that this one guy plays 3 hard-ass games in a row without getting a minute rest and then ends up getting injured? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Even
I
with
don't know,
Osteen.
Ralph. I don't know if I blame the injury on the play. I don't know if I do. I
No,
mean,
fatigue. Listen, fatigue
no, fatigue is a
causes
thing. Don't get me
injury.
wrong.
Period. It causes injury. If you don't give your body enough time to recover, the muscles get weaker. You are more likely to get injured. Now, that doesn't mean because he played those 3 games in a row, he got injured. But when you look at it, you look at these guys who play so many games consecutively, they always end up with a snag, a little injury, a little this, a little that, right after it. It's always like that. And we had the depth, we had the backup, and we didn't use it.
Yeah, but it didn't really hurt us, did it? I mean, we made it out of the
didn't
group stage of the Champions League with style and one of the best teams in the competition. We got all the way to the quarterfinal. Okay, we didn't advance in the Coppa Italia. Fine. We have 1.5 teams. We need 2 teams. The thing is that we won with 1.5, maybe 1 1/3 teams, right?
Right.
We won the Scudetto. But there were 2 other competitions we didn't win in. I mean, one we went as furthest we ever went to. And the other one we got knocked out to the bottom team who hadn't won a game yet, since and
Right.
Started the Coppa Italia from the preliminaries. You know what I mean? And we should have gone to at least a semifinal of that. You know what I mean? But God forbid, Ralph. God forbid we had to play more Coppa Italia.
Right.
God forbid we had to play in the semifinal of this Champions League, Ralph.
God forbid we had
a
less
little
points.
Closer,
Right.
God forbid, we had less points.
So that's what I'm saying.
Thing.
So now is that the equation to win? Like, is that the equation to win? Let's make this the last topic. All right.
The equation going forward, in my opinion, is yes, we need to get. And I don't want to say better players for depth, but we need to get the right amount of depth, or we need to get depth in the right areas now. Because when you think about it, the defensive depth, we're going to have Zanoli come back, but Azinski's not going to stay.
No.
Zanoli is in my opinion, Zanoli's a suitable backup for Di Lorenzo. Keep him there. Right?
Yeah.
We got Myri.
I want the kid to work under the captain. To me, he learns those leadership abilities from Di Lorenzo.
Yes. I agree.
Now,
we need a backup for...
But you can get, but there you go. I'm sorry to interrupt because that's a perfect example with Di Lorenzo, Rafa, is that this is a guy who plays fucking game after game after game, all 90 minutes. Why? And then he does some shitty tackle, or he's just not as defensively sound as he could be. Like there's got to be some type of fatigue in this guy, man. And the fact that we got to loan a player to give him minutes, I get it. Di Lorenzo's the captain, but
Zanoli scored today for Sampdoria.
I know,
and Berezinski's a Scudetto winner. So it's Gianluca.
But he fucking earned that. He didn't earn that. He even got injured at one point.
No, but look at the deal. It's fun. Gianluca mentioned it, right? Berezinski comes in on half a season loan, becomes a Scudetto winner. Yeah. In turn, Zanoli goes to Sampdoria, gets relegated, but plays every game and every minute. So he gets a little more legs under him, right? Mm-hmm. And the deal is not going to happen. So they're sending Berezinski back, and Zanoli's coming back to us. So now Zanoli has played in many meaningful games, right? And Berezinski goes back to Samp as a champion. It's win-win for everyone. In my
win-win.
Yeah,
as long as everybody's happy.
Gianluca nailed it. Yeah, man. Listen, we have to get depth in the right places. We are a deep team. Don't get me wrong. We're a deep team. I've said it. Mm-hmm. But to win multiple tournaments, you need multiple teams. You need to have a B that's going to go out there and compete with the top teams. 100%.
That went by quick today, I feel like. Jeez,
it went by quick. It went by
that hour flew by, guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat who stuck around to the end here, man. Again,
I want to shout out Crow.
Buy a tank. Buy a tank.
Buy a tank top.
Some of you guys in here already did, man. I appreciate it. Yo, buy a tank top. Go to our Twitter. Go to our Instagram. The link is in the bio. You'll see a bunch of tweets I had on our Twitter. If you're in our Discord, it's in our Discord. Buy a tank, please. Buy a summer.
Just look us up. You'll find the links there.
It's really
Buy
cool.
a tank top.
It's a really cool tank top. And I made it reasonably priced, Rafa. Everybody tries to kind of go out and get there. They're trying to gouge now. It's south of $20, guys, and it supports our show. If you're a person that, supports the show. This is the way to do it. And you get something out of it, which is really cool.
Right.
So please do so.
Right. It's pretty cool. I mean, listen, I'm not knocking Patreon or other ways to make money doing this stuff. I mean, it's something that we're looking to do at some point. But in this sense, like Ralph said, you're getting something out of it, which is pretty cool. We're trying out this new clothing line. And this is a sort of a test, right? And
you know what, Rafa? I love the beach, and I intend on.
I love the beach.
Doing Napoli Club Beach this summer in New York, and I wanted something to wear to the beach that said Napoli. So I always wear tank tops to the beach. I was like, I want a Napoli tank top, but I was like, I'm not gonna just buy one. I'm just gonna make it for everybody, and if everybody wants it, they can go on and get it. They can have a cool tank and a way to support the show. And I got some other stuff coming too, but I'm not gonna say anything yet. I gotta test the waters first. But I got something cool. I'll give you a hint for the professional out there. For the professional, the guys who work in the banks, the guys who work in the schools, law enforcement agents, all kinds of good stuff. I got something for you guys as well. Barbers. Well, this one, man, you can still wear it at the shop.
I'd rock it.
I can wear it at work. My job as a waiter.
Perfect. I want to quickly shout out Crow762, who did pick Monza, which was pretty dope. And then I want to shout out Matteo Casale, who got all of them right except for Atalanta. He said Atalanta instead of Monza. That was really fun. I thought that was good. We should probably think about doing something more like that.
Yeah.
Next season.
Game.
Just
that was fun.
Some fun.
There's always next season, Rafa, right? I mean,
hey, man, there's always next season.
What
right?
happens to the Napoli Rant coming up, man? This is going to be a huge discussion over the summer, but we probably won't be here next Monday. We'll probably do some on Instagram this week as well as next week.
Yeah, I this week is good for me.
Oh man, Belgium, 4 a.m.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Belgium, dope. 4 a.m. Wow, man. Listen, if this guy could get up at 4 a.m. and watch us, right? Why can't I do a show from Italy at 3
Bro, buy a tank. International shipping available.
Buy a tank, my man.
International shipping available. All right, guys, but let's get on out of here again. Rafa, great show as always. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well as our audio listeners. Again, we will not have a live show next Monday, but catch us on the Insta Rant Live. It's a lot of fun, guys. Come to the Insta Rant because it gives you an opportunity to kind of put in a request and talk about something. So, we don't do as many guests here anymore, but we do give you an opportunity over there. And we leave it up there for everybody to enjoy. And you never know who pops in there. You never know. It's like lots of different people. Oh, what's up? What's up, Chris? That's my boy. This is my, I believe it's my Discord admin, no?
Crow? Is Jesus from the Discord?
Yeah. He's my Discord admin.
There you go.
Thank you for all your hard work, Crow.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. He helped me set things up. I mean, admin. He helps me out.
Awesome.
But anyway, guys, let's get out of here. Again, thank you again, and forza Napoli sempre.
Ciao, campioni d'Italia.
Campioni d'Italia. Ciao, belli.